Broadcast. Dynaphones connected. Initiating broadcast signal in
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Ladies, gentlemen, and knights of the Nerd World Order, this is the Nerd World Order broadcast. I'm the man that you call Dukes, and to my right, it's all about the...
Booyah! What's up? It's your boy Joe, baby.
And to my other right, coming straight out of Krakoa, Alfonso X-Man Flores.
You can't save them, Charles.
You know, Charles, you can't save them. You couldn't save them in 2023, and you can't save them now. However, we are going to be discussing the best of the best of the best of 2023. We're going to be covering movies. We're going to be covering TV shows. We're going to be covering animated. We are going to go through all the best of 2023. Joe, how was your 2023, the end of it? We haven't talked in a while. How you doing, bro?
Pretty good. You know, work is finally over, so it's slowing down, so I get to chill a little bit more, relax. Now I'm back to like having the weekends off instead of working 6 days.
Wow, that's brutal.
Yeah.
Brutal. Well, thanks to you and every other person out there who made sure we got our packages on time.
Yes, sir.
Alfonso Westman Flores, how was the end of your 2023?
The end of my year was actually pretty nice. Had the family down. I had Emma over this year. She wasn't spending time with her mom, but this is the first year Nate stayed up till midnight. I could not believe it. Past couple of years, he's like, nah, Dad, it's okay. You go on without me. He's 8 years old now. He's lost his 2 front teeth, and he stayed up till midnight. So we had a blast. You know, we made a lot of noise. Emma had a friend over. You know, we toasted with some Martinelli's sparkling apple cider, and we rung in the new year. Wife was asleep, but I still went over, woke her up, and kissed her.
That's awesome. Did you guys set off fireworks?
No, we had little kazoo things. So it was funny because we went outside and we blew them as loud as we possibly could.
Joe, fireworks still aren't legal in Oceanside, right?
No, they're not.
Oh,
Hey,
okay.
speaking of like your son was up at past midnight. I came. We went to go watch Aquaman 2, me and my son, right?
Oh yeah.
And I'm driving back, and I see a little 8-year-old come from the carport, have trash, walk over to the dumpster, and then throw it away, and then come back and do it again. And I'm like, it's midnight. What's a little kid doing out there? And all I could think about was the Dave Chappelle sketch where he goes, we saw a little kid on the corner. I think it was in like Seattle or Washington or something. Or was it Washington, D.C.? And he's like, baby! I don't know if you remember that. He's all, baby! What are you doing on the corner? And he ended up being like an adult that was selling some drugs. But it was pretty funny because, you know, I wanted to get out and say, baby!
Man, yeah, you guys sound like you had more exciting New Year's Day than me. Of course, my neighbor set off fireworks, which is pretty cool. They're illegal, but they don't care. And then the ghetto birds come out and they like put spotlights on everyone setting off fireworks. So then someone like a block away sets off fireworks and the ghetto bird goes over there. And then so the person who set them off before puts them on. Dude, it's so awesome. So it's like you get to see the ghetto bird just fly back and forth in my neighborhood. It's great. So yeah, 2023 ended with the proverbial bang. That's not an Alfonso joke. It's just what happened. So we're going to get into all things 2023. Let's kick it off by talking about the best DC movie of 20 and 23. Now, I know there are a lot of movies that I pretty much know what you guys are going to say for the best DC movie, but I'm going to throw a curveball just based on the fact that, yeah, I'm loyal to Shazam. And so if you look at product placement with the Skittles, if you look at Helen Mirren coming back, if you look at the family joke that Zachary Levi gave us, Shazam! Fury of the God deserves the #1 spot for DC movie of the year. Could be Shazam movie of like the decade, but the first Shazam movie was better. Alfonso X-Man Flores, what are your thoughts on the movie of the year, DC-wise?
You know, I was tempted to choose Shazam just to make you super ecstatic, but I couldn't do it because I took into consideration the family aspect that you just talked about, and Blue Beetle beat him out.
That should be my real choice. I mean, dude, Blue Beetle was awesome, but I'm loyal to Shazam.
No, I understand.
So you're right, man. I mean, Blue Beetle was amazing, and it annoyed the crap out of me that no one went to see it. But now that it's streaming, everyone's like, "Oh, this is a good movie." Well, you know what's never going to happen is another that dude as Blue Beetle, right? Because y'all did him dirty, okay? I saw that movie 3 times to try and help him out, and I watched it 3 times in an empty theater. Joe, what say you, DC fan?
Yeah, like I enjoy Blue Beetle a lot too. I think that's going to be the best one for me. I think it's good enough to at least say that's part of the new James Gunn universe, because I thought it was written very well. The family aspect was dope. And, like, shame on the Latinos, bro. Shame on the Latinos, man. They should have showed up, bro. We showed up for Shang-Chi. You showed up for Black Panther. Latinos need to show up, bro. You keep complaining about there's no room for you in Hollywood and you're getting typecasted and stuff like that, bro. But none of y'all fools be showing up to support your peoples, man.
Though
support
I wouldn't have
peoples.
I wouldn't have put it quite so eloquently as Joe put it, but he's right, man. That Hollywood goes after the Latino dollar. There's so much Latino influence.
Mm-hmm.
And you heard me try to do the fake accent with Latino. That's all I got, okay? That's it. But yeah, dude, you didn't show up, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Why not?
No, exactly.
Yeah.
I think it was kind of tough because you had, I mean, first of all, you have like this kid who he did great with Karate Kid and everything, or I'm sorry, Cobra Kai, but DC had been dropping the ball left and right. So it's like they kind of lost a little bit of that. And then George Lopez was going through some controversy as well. So they lost a little bit of that. Usually people would come out and support him, but I think there was just too many bridges burnt throughout that for it to really shine the way it should have. I mean, but you would think a burning bridge would shine.
No, bro. There's a thing you call Latino pride. And none of y'all showed up, bro. Regardless on whether you're superheroes fatigue or whatever, you got a Latino superhero lead in a movie. Whether you think DC sucks or not, you're gonna show up and support. And you didn't show up and support. They just didn't. Whether you thought the movie was gonna be good or bad, you show up because you're gonna help your more Latino brothers and sisters get roles if you show up. And if you don't show up, all the man's gonna say is be like, "See, look, not even your own people's gonna watch you. Why do we need to make another movie with you? They don't show up."
I agree completely. In the Familia Flores, we were there.
Yeah, let's go see what I'm talking
There
about,
you go.
bro.
Yeah. Okay. Alfonso bailed us out on that one. Alfonso spent his money on that. I did see it 3 times, though. Yeah. Alfonso.
That's stress.
Oh. Speaking of showing up, I feel like this year people stopped showing up to Marvel movies, and I feel like I don't believe in superhero fatigue. I believe in crap movie fatigue. And by you heard us. If you're a listener of the Nerd World Order broadcast, and if you are, tell your friends, tell your mom, especially tell people you don't like to listen to Nerd World Order broadcast. But if you sat with us through 2023, you know that we said Phase 4 and Phase 5 sucked, right? Mm-hmm. But we still showed up, okay? Which means we are going to have a best Marvel movie of 20 and 23. And I'm not going to do that thing that Alfonso does, where I try to mix in like every movie that I wanted to say was number 1. I'm just going to tell you what I thought was number 1 and hope one of you guys picked the movie that was like runner up for me, but I'm not going to say what it is because Alfonso uses that trick, and we're on you, Alfonso. So, James Gunn, when you look at the Guardians of the Galaxy trilogy, it was just so well put together that I had to put it. And dude, that action scene, that non-stop action scene where it's one continuous take. Oh my gosh, dude! Like, James Gunn, go do what you got to do with DCU and make Marvel feel sorry. Like it was a bad breakup, bro. Okay, so you go get yourself the best looking chick, the baddest chick on the planet you can, hypothetically speaking, DCU being the baddest chick, blah, 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 that you can, and you make the MCU feel sorry they ever left you. Hit the gym, get buff. That's right. That's right. Okay. Joe.
Yeah, I mean, Guardians of the Galaxy was dope. And I think I really enjoyed the Marvels, even though they said it kind of bombed. I enjoyed that one a lot too. I thought it was pretty dope. And I think Brie Larson gets a lot of hate. So it's a shame because I like her as Captain Marvel. But yeah, to your point, like the Guardians of the Galaxy was a nice finish. I think that closed that chapter of that Marvel, I think, for me. And, when it was good. And, I'm hoping like these, like them realizing like, hey, let's stop the brakes. You know what I mean? We're spending too much money and we're not making money back. Let's concentrate on stories and right positionings of movies being released, and by them not putting out that many Marvel movies this year so far. I mean, I think it's just Deadpool, right? Is the next one. And when is that? May? Is it May?
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's nothing else between then. I mean, we're getting Echo, but I mean, dude, if you release all episodes at one time, I don't think it's that good, man. Like Netflix is known for that. I mean, they have some good stuff that they do that, but Disney, as far as I'm putting stuff out like that, I don't think it's going to be that good. I mean, I'll still check it out, but I don't think it's going to be that good.
Yeah, I'm glad you said Marvels because that allows me to jump in there into the Alfonso. Dude, I loved Marvels. I thought that was a great movie. I think it's very clear that Brie Larson is Joe's Melissa McCarthy. You don't have to like her, but he'll always have her back.
Yes,
so I respect that, my bro. Yeah, that
so much hate, dude.
She does. She really does. And I mean, Melissa McCarthy movies aren't always the best, so she can earn a little bit of that hate. But Brie Larson does nothing but pump out good movies,
Yeah, and she's very humble. Like she's like us when she meets someone like she's a fan of. Like she doesn't hold back. Like, oh my gosh, it's John Cena.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, J-Lo, I became an actor because of you and Selena. I'm like, I mean, I like me some J-Lo, but you're a better actor than her. But hey, if that's who you loved and made you be aspired to be an actor, I mean, hey, good for you. But just the genuine of her just fanning out, and you're like, bro, like she's a fan of you too, so it's kind of cool.
Yeah, totally. So Alfonso, what say you?
So that was the thing. It was a really close call between those two movies. Marvels was really fresh in my head. I still had a lot of, the enjoyment I felt from that movie. It was great. It was great. I love that movie. Guardians of the Galaxy, same. I mean, but it wasn't as fresh in my head, even though I've seen it more. But when I thought about it, and I'm trying to weigh them, one over the other, Guardians gave me so much more emotion. Like I laughed, I cried, I was happy, I was sad, I was, Marvels was great. It was a good time the whole time. I mean, but I didn't get as emotional in the Marvels as I did Guardians of the Galaxy. And that's one thing I love about like these comic book movies, when you have somebody that and you love and that's close to you and it brings you in, it makes you feel like, you're trying to be a big, tough man. And next thing you're like, man, I hate you. So I'm going to go with Guardians of the Galaxy 3, but Marvel's definitely right up there.
Wow. So we all snuck in that honorable mention.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what we do in 24. We just admit we're sneaking honorable mentions. Now, we're moving on to the best movie of the year, okay? I'm going to try to stay in my seat. If you're watching this on the YouTubes, which, ladies, gentlemen, and knights, you can watch us on the YouTubes, and you can share the YouTube link with your friends, families, and foes. But best movie of the year. I've seen it 3 times, and I'm disappointed because there's a lot of days where I'm about to go see it and then something happens. I hope we're all sitting down because Godzilla -1. Oh my god. Oh my god, dude. Okay, I've seen movies in 4D. Okay, this movie in 4D. Oh my, dude. There's never been in my entire existence. Okay, in every molecule that ever went in my body, there has never been a movie experience like Godzilla -1 in 4D. Like, I was like, damn, did I really get attacked? Like, oh my god, this incredible freaking movie. And then, well, first I saw it in IMAX, okay? And in IMAX, I felt it in my chest, okay? Like, boom, Godzilla came out. And then I saw it in regular movie theater, and I got to enjoy all the nuances of it. The acting, dude, here's my thing, right? Everyone, like, they spent $15 million on this movie. Yes, I love this freaking movie, okay? They're going to release it in black and white. I'm going to watch it in black and white. So, yes, I love this freaking movie. But anyway, $15 million budget, okay? This Godzilla looked incredible for $15 million. He was, no spoilers here, ladies, gentlemen, and knights. He was destroying a city because that's what he does. And it looked incredible. And when he did his, now they call it heat breath. They used to call it atomic, but that's probably like, oh, that's not PC. Atomic got canceled, so now it's heat breath. Dude, it was incredible. Everything about this movie, even the story. I'm gonna admit it, dude. The every time I saw it, I was on the verge of tears every single time I saw this movie, because the end of the movie, I was like, oh, I knew that was gonna happen. You didn't surprise me, but I'm tearing up anyway. So I could go all day. Joe's like, shut up, dude. Let me talk. Alfonso X-Man Flores, what's your movie of the year?
My movie of the year, man. First of all, I need to see Godzilla -1. I'm so stoked about that movie. Can't wait. My movie of the year. I really wanted to go with an animated, but then I was thinking, well, we have best animated to go over still. So when we get there, just know that the best animated that I choose is, my favorite movie of the year. But Guardians of the Galaxy 3 was still my favorite of the year, because honestly, I didn't go to see that many movies this year. I don't know what it was. I was looking through a list of every movie released in 2023. I'm like, wow, I missed a lot. I don't know why I was so busy, but yeah, as far as, like I said before, emotion, it pulled on my heartstrings in every direction. To me, it was kind of a perfect film. I was super stoked with that.
I think the emotion is what pulls people in, because I feel like whether it be Guardians or whether it be Godzilla, both starting with a G, it's like you go in to expect action and special effects, and then they pull at your heartstrings, and you're like, dang, that's an extra element. So, Joe, what's your movie of the year?
Yeah, I'm laughing because every time we want to talk about a movie, I was like, oh, I didn't watch that yet. I love the Predator movies. So like it's hard for me not to laugh at that when you said, oh, I haven't seen it. Yeah, we've heard that. Get a t-shirt. I haven't seen it yet. It would be perfect. Alfie, if you thought like Guardians of the Galaxy pulled on your heartstrings, Godzilla -1 is going to do the same thing. I mean, to Alan's point, I'm going to say that's the movie of the year for me. It was dope. It stayed true to its Godzilla roots. He was a villain. It's through and through. I mean, the scene with his head just popping out, swimming towards chasing a boat was just like, damn, because I'd be hella scared if I saw that thing looking back and it's coming out and there's nothing you could do,
Yeah.
So I mean, that was dope. And then, like the story was really good. And, as predictable as it was on the very end, I was okay with it. Because usually like predictable stuff, I'm just like, man, come on, dude. Like, really? But when it happened, I was relieved, even though I know that that's where they were going with it. I was relieved, like, oh, that's so cool, dude. Just because of the overall story about family, you'll like it, Alfie. I mean, you'll like it a lot, Now, my question is, that is my favorite movie of the year. My question is, Dukes, you had no problem reading those subtitles 3 times?
Bro, I sat down. I knew I was going into subtitles, and I loved it, right? Because you know how you always say, like, when you hear the actors, you understand the emotion that's trying to be conveyed, and then the words tell you exactly what was wanted in the script.
Yep.
I'm still not going to watch no subtitled anime. But bro,
that
bro,
was my point, dude.
yeah.
The animated, the Japanese voices are so much better, bro.
Hmm.
And when they hit that emotion, you know, it's just like it's authentic, you know, because it's to me, it's more emotional for me, and it's more of a connection hearing the Japanese voice,
Yeah.
and then like reading the subtitles, of course. But you know, like I get at late at night, you know, like at midnight, you can't fall asleep and you're watching some anime. You ain't trying to read at midnight.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that's the time where I'll be like, okay, go ahead and dub it. But you know, like, but but the subs is pretty good, dude. Like the voices, man, nothing beat those. The Japanese voices, man.
Yeah. Yeah. It seriously makes me think like maybe I need to give the subtitles a second shot because I mean, I totally felt it. And there's certain scenes in that movie, if it would have been in English, it would have just been like, eh. Like the emotion, like the main character, there's some things that he said where I was like, dang, that's deep. Like it wasn't deep like philosophical, but like you understood his struggle.
Yeah.
And I don't think you get that if it was like,
Mhm.
they brought in some dubs. So yeah, Alfonso.
And not to mention the budget too. Like what they did with that budget was better than like the Marvels, Guardians of the Galaxy. And they spent so much more money, but the visuals was just clean.
Yeah. Alfonso, I'm telling you that Attack on Tokyo, dude, you ain't seen nothing like that, bro. Like you may have seen 100 Godzilla movies. When you see that, you're like,
Ooh,
this is the real Godzilla.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I keep hearing like, for the longest time, people's biggest complaints with like Godzilla movies is the fact that they spent too much time on the characters and like, no, we just want to see monsters destroy things. But this dealt with the characters and people were loving it. So it's like, whoa, they turned the tide. So I cannot
Right.
wait to see this.
Right. That's what me and Dukes were talking about. Cause like it's always like when the American version, when they come out, you're like, bro, I just want to see Godzilla and King Kong fight. Whoever they gotta fight. These characters I'm really not into. But again, to your point, Alfie, like just the acting and the overall story, like you're like, oh, whoa, this is a Godzilla movie. It's cool to see Godzilla, but you really want to know what happens to the family. So
Yeah.
you're like, can we go back? Like, and it's just the whole town rising up to fight Godzilla. Like you're rooting for the humans this time. Godzilla's cool, but usually like the humans in these movies are so bad. You're like, Godzilla, kill them all, baby. Kill them all.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely, bro. Well, I know Godzilla. Actually, there was an animated Godzilla, which I should try to watch. Just because I've been Godzilla crazy. I watch like all the old Toho stuff, so I'm gonna see if I can find that on YouTube. However, speaking of animated, Alfonso Flores, why don't you give us your best animated movie of the year?
My best animated movie of the year would be Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Like the first one. Insanely good. They did so much with the animation. They did so much with the way they shot things, the way everything was just, put out there. They were shooting things at different not screen ratio. Oh, they shoot things at different screen ratios. They would shoot things at different speeds. Like there's a certain amount of
Frame
images
rates.
per frame, yeah, or so many frames per second, and they would change it up for different characters to like give you that feeling of their time, or even especially what they did with Spider-Punk, insane. His movements were at one thing. It was, yeah, what
Really,
they did.
bro? Hold on, Alfie. Really? You bumping some Nicki Minaj, huh?
That's from your story, bro.
Oh. Oh, dude, I was like, oh, you got that on your ringtone, huh?
Nah, that's all you, bro. Sorry, Alfonso.
No worries. So yeah, it's Into the Spider-Verse, Across the Spider-Verse, Beyond the Spider-Verse. All these Spider-Verse movies. I can't wait for the next one. I just cannot wait for the next one. The story that they had with Gwen and Miles, the way their relationship had blossomed, and Miles being jealous of Spider-Punk, and all the background characters. You had a spider cat, you had a spider horse, you had a spider cowboy, you had a spider T-Rex. you had Miles hanging on the back of Spider-Man, and oh man, and the bagel joke. I love the bagel joke from the first one where he's like, he hit me with a bagel. You know, he threw a bagel. He's a bagel, and it said bagel right there. That guy came back to be the villain. Oh my gosh, I can't say enough good things about this movie. I know you guys loved it, and in all honesty, that would have been my best overall movie of the year. But I didn't want to spoil this.
Me too. I'm not really into animated movies, and I don't think I saw any other animated movie. But Across the Spider Verse was a work of art, and I think Alfonso put it really well. They put so much thought into what they were doing, and then they talk about when you go back and you watch different stuff, and you're like, well, here Miles's background turned like purple and yellow, and here it turns blue. There's just so much about that movie. That movie has Easter eggs for itself. It's just an incredible movie. Joe, what do you have as best animated movie of the year?
Yeah, I mean, again, I think all three of us agree that it's going to be Spider-Man and Spider-Verse. Like like Sony's doing really well with the animation department, but I think also Disney's What If second season is really good. And DC needs to be careful because DC was king of all the animated stuff. You know what I mean? Their movies weren't
Mm-hmm.
doing too well, but the anime has been good, and Marvel was lacking in that department. But I feel this year or last year, they stepped up big time. Even though it's 2024 is season two, like I would like to think that it was already done by last year, but oh wait, no, it was last year, right before the new year. So yeah, like last year, like the animation department stepped it up big time for Marvel.
I agree. And let's talk about best animated series for a moment. Joe, is that your number one?
Yeah, it's What If
Yeah.
season two. I think that's really good. I
Yeah.
enjoyed it a lot. And like we were talking about this too, is like the whole phase 4 and 5 was so bad. You could have literally took this season of What If 1 and 2 and combined it into a different universe that went a different way, and then that's better than what they came up with for phase 4 and 5. I'd have been cool with the Captain Carter. I mean, she's dope. And so what I like, about that is you don't really need Captain America, bro. Like you could have used Captain Carter, so it's like, and she's a perfect leader, in that series, like and she, I think they did her a little dirty in Doctor Strange too, but the live version, she's so fine too. And the live version, she's perfectly capable of leading, like the new Avengers or whatever they wanted to do. Hopefully she's gonna be in Secret Wars. That would be dope. But like cross her fingers. But and then the introduction to the new character too. The is a Mohawk. Is it Mohawk? Yeah, Mohawk.
Yes.
Native American natives. Mohawk is totally a new character. Even though, like, I was talking to this, I went to go pick up some comics, and shout out to Stacy. And Stacy was saying that she's like, it's just a Disney Pocahontas ripoff. She was kind of upset about it. She was like, how she was speaking the language, and then by the last episode, she's talking perfect English. So she kind of felt like, I find, even at work, I find like women tend to get more upset with Disney and what they're doing with certain characters that I find the last, I talked to a lot of women about comics, but the ones that I do talk to, I feel like they don't agree with some of the stuff where I'm just like, I thought it was a perfect way of creating a new character that's not gender bending
Mm-hmm.
or race bending,
Mm-hmm.
it's a totally new character with new powers. I thought that was awesome, and looking forward to see what they do with her in comics, and if they use her in the live version of Marvel. I think it's cool because it's an original character, and shout out to them for doing that.
Yeah, I totally agree with everything you have to say, bro. Uh, Question for the two of you. Joe's probably going to know this. Alfonso didn't see it. The newest Mission Impossible movie, was Haley Atwell in that? And did she do any action scenes?
I didn't
Captain Carter.
see the new Mission Impossible, but she is in it though.
Okay. And Alfonso, you don't need to answer that, bro, because I know you didn't. Yeah, we know. We know. Yeah. That I remember watching it, and like the first episode, I was like, it's kind of slow, but I really liked the story. And then episode 2 hit, and I was just like, dude, this is so good. And every episode got like progressively better. I didn't care really for the second to last episode where they went like into medieval times, but it was still a good story. It had a lot of good emotion. It's good. It's also my best animated series, and I can't think of any other animated. Well, yeah, I can. I definitely can. But anyway, yeah. So it was definitely my favorite animated series of 20 and 23. However, Alfonso, I'm curious what you're gonna say.
Okay, first of all, I loved that. I loved What If season 2. The Die Hard episode was so great. But how they can do me so dirty like that? That conquistador. Did you know what his middle name was? He's like, hey, my name is, what do you say? Gonzalo Alfonso, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, dang. Straight up attacking me, man. Hurt my feelings.
Nice. I probably noticed that at the time.
But anyways, it's funny. I didn't include What If season 2 because I thought it was 2024, but you're right. It was all last year, or it was last year from Christmas on leading up, man. So, I was trying to figure out what I thought was the best for the year. And my top pick was Chainsaw Man. Like right before we got on, I looked it up, and Chainsaw Man actually started in 2022, but the last episode was in 2023. So redemption. But Chainsaw Man, it was just such an awesome anime, man. I can't wait for a second season of this. I really want to get into the manga and start reading it, but I don't want to spoil it. I want to see it. I want to live in it. I want to visualize everything. I want to hear it, right in front of my face. So I'm definitely going with Chainsaw Man. They did that so well. The animation, the styles, the movements that they did, even like when the guy lost his arm, I can't help but think of that. And that was the first thing that popped in my head.
Yeah, I mean, that's two different things, animation and anime. So like, you're pretty on point with it.
Yeah.
So you could have picked two.
Damn.
You know what I mean? If you think about it that way. So
Yeah.
I mean, you're perfectly fine with anime as being the best instead of the animation.
Right.
So,
Wow. Joe giving Alfonso an out on that one. Nice.
well, it's anime and there's animation. So I mean,
Yeah.
two totally different things,
I could
think
see
it
that.
is.
I could definitely see. I was also including anime in my list too, so I won't tell you what my runner-up was, but it
come on.
definitely wasn't Chainsaw Man. By the way, dude, I don't know about you, Joe. I stopped watching Chainsaw Man because number one, I mean, yeah, okay, he's supposed to be a teenager or whatever, and he's obsessed with boobs. It's like, come on, dude, like really? Can you stop? And then there was a part where he threw up in someone's mouth. What? That's when I was done. Okay, that's when I was done.
That's different than a dude going in someone's penis like to his hands on the boys that you continue to watch even after that. See, that's what he did with his hand inside of it.
He was tickling.
Yeah, well, you continue to watch it. I'd rather see someone throw up on a man's mouth than to see a guy go like this.
He was tickling on the inside.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I can't disagree with you, Joe. Both are something that I don't want to see. But I did continue to watch The Boys, and they continue to find different ways to abuse that part of the body. So yeah, every season, every show,
Even Gen V.
Yeah, even Jim. That's what I'm saying. They have spinoff shows, and they're like, "But we gotta do this. Stop, okay?
Don't forget the D.
Throw up in someone's mouth, but don't do that."
Come on, man. All right, dude.
However,
that's not what makes a show good.
yeah,
Come on, dude.
yeah.
But they've got a checklist.
No.
We can transition since we're talking about best animated series. Let's talk about best TV show of the 20 and 23. I'm going to be selfish because I'm going to say this before anyone else does, because I don't think you guys are going to say this, okay? Because it didn't even hit me. Alfonso sent us a list, right? And he's like, boom, 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 boom. All these things on the list. And I was like, I'm going to go off the list. And then I heard Ahsoka. And I was like, bro, you ain't got Ahsoka on this list? I was like, what? No, Ahsoka? Dude, Ahsoka, Joe's been telling me about Ahsoka for years, right? Like, dude, Ahsoka's so good, right? And even though Sabine was just annoying, it was a really good show. The last episodes of the show were great. It had good payoff. I believe Rosario Dawson is a very, very good actress. If you haven't seen that, everything Dave Filoni's doing is great, but I think he's really starting to hit his stride. Joe let me know that the next Mandalorian will be in the movie theaters, and I think Filoni's really going to nail it. I'm going to turn it over to you, Joe. Why was your number one movie Ahsoka? Number one show.
Ahsoka was dope. I'm a huge fan of Ahsoka. However, One Piece, the Netflix series, was like so good. Is when we watched that, we totally forgot about Ahsoka. And then when Ahsoka started getting better towards the end, as good as it was, I was still thinking about One Piece and how good that show was. So for me, it's One Piece, just because that's the first, in my opinion, of a live adaptation of an anime that was so good. And it followed the anime, but still was like they had little tweaks to it, but it was so good that you didn't mind. Kind of like with the Godzilla -1 towards the end, when you knew it was predictable and you were okay with it. That's how it was with Netflix, One Piece. I was okay with some of the changes that they made. But, like it's a close one, because Ahsoka, like towards the end, it was so good. It got really good when Anakin came back, but it just shows how much exploration that they could do within, Anakin, like, because he's still at the perfect age where he's where Anakin could be, so he could always make an appearance in that little form. So I thought that was pretty cool how they left it open, and you could always do some more stuff with Anakin. But the One Piece, I'm looking forward to season 2. So I mean, One Piece is pretty good, man.
There's I'm sorry. There's a difference between TV shows and anime adaptations of TV shows. I'm just messing.
That's pretty funny.
What are you gonna say, Dukes?
I was just curious as to why you thought Ahsoka was the best TV show of 2023.
Okay, first of all, I don't know how that wasn't on my list. And second of all, I wasn't going off my memory because I could not think of anything. So I actually I Googled it, and that was the best I could piece together from what I found. So yeah, sadly Ahsoka wasn't on my list. But One Piece, I'm gonna go with One Piece as well. It dominated my entire mindset when I thought about any kind of TV show. Even in animation, I'm like, well, I'm not caught up to the 2024 or 23 section of the animation. But the whole thing started with my son Logan. He's 26, and he's like, Dad, you got to see One Piece. And I'm like, that's like over 1,000 episodes, son. And he's like, Dad, you got to watch it. All right, I'll watch it. So I watched maybe 100 episodes, and then I watched the live action. And I got reinvigorated for the animated the anime because of that. And dude, I am on like episode 600 and something. I'm in Dressrosa. Oh my gosh, it's so good. You know what I mean? It was so bad because I started watching on Netflix. Netflix went to like episode 325, and then they're like, no more. And I'm like, crap. So then I went to Hulu. It's on Hulu. Sweet. Got up to like episode 500, and it's gone. I'm like, man. So I had to get Crunchyroll, but I can't pay for another service because my wife's gonna kill me. So I'm watching it, and he comes in. He's like, Dad, why are you watching this in Spanish? I'm like, this is Japanese, son. So I'm actually having to read it, which is very difficult for me because I have very little attention span. Squirrel. But Netflix or Hulu just released that same series. So I'm watching Dressrosa for a second time. and it's so freaking great, man. But the live action, they did it so well. My only concern right now is that there's so much that they got to cover, and they did a really good job of like picking and choosing what they were going to cover and what they're going to, kind of blow over or blow through. But there's so much of it, and I'm so involved now that I can't wait to see what's going to happen with season 2. But it was such a great show. They had so much heart, so much character development for such a little amount of time. They covered a lot in that one season. So happy with One Piece.
Yeah. Even in Netflix, I think that's this weekend. Like they finally finished with the Wano arc, which was a
Okay.
super long arc,
Right.
and they're on to Egg Island. And now Netflix is gonna every time the new episode comes out, you can watch it on Netflix.
That's what I heard. So are they going to pick up all the older episodes too?
I would they upped some more seasons,
Good.
on Netflix that because it went to I can't remember it went up to at the end of Water 7, I want to say. I
Right.
think. But yeah, I'm pretty sure eventually they're gonna have everything on there.
That's going to be sweet. I even heard that they're going to do another anime that they're going to release on Netflix, and it's going to start from the beginning.
Yeah,
Like a
they're gonna
reimagining.
redo it. They're gonna redo it. Because Oda was, I think we talked about this before on a previous podcast, but Oda is very involved with that story, so he was okay with those changes
Yeah.
because his point is at the time he was writing it, that's what he was thinking.
Right.
But over time, it could be done a different way, and so that he kind of went back and when they changed it, they have to get his approval to make it any different.
Right.
And with this new series that's coming out, it's going to be reimagined and it's going to be done again.
I can't wait to see the artwork style on that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Who knows what that's going to look like?
Dukes is like, subtitles? Netflix have an English version, bro. Netflix, they got the dub for you, bro. The English dub.
Nice. I'll have to jump in on that. You know what?
Yeah.
If I watch One Piece, which I'm not, but if I ever do, I'm going to watch the first season with subtitles just to get that feel.
You got to get past the first, what was it? Alf, we think 30, 40 episodes?
Yeah, at least.
I think when it gets to 30 and 40, that's when it gets really good. Like by far, I think in my opinion, One Piece has the best story and arcs with each character and what they're going through. It's so sick, dude.
And they
It's
go
so
off on
sick.
tangents with backstories for episodes.
Oh, like crazy.
And then they'll touch base on something like way in episode 700 that they talked that happened in episode 200. It's like, wow, the connections. And as a comic book character or comic book character, as a comic book reader, an X-Men lover, I love those little connections of those tangents that you put together. Oh, and speaking of dubbed compared to original voice acting, I'm sorry, dude, but the Frankie American voice is so much better than the Frankie Japanese voice. I'm gonna get a lot of hate for that one from all over.
Yeah, I mean, I think Zoro is All Might's voice, right?
Is it?
I think I could be wrong. Or
kind of
no, or
voice
is it? Wait, is it Piccolo's voice? I think it's Piccolo, the guy that does Piccolo. I think.
Yeah, I think
think.
There's
And
the
then All
same
Might's
to-
Vegeta's voice or something. I think.
Oh,
I don't know. I can't
man.
remember.
I'd like to quote Alfonso. I haven't seen it. So, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was say you'd love Frankie, man. He's like, bro, we got to get together and do this, bro. The American voice is so hilarious because he has this surfer look to him. He's always wearing his little black thong. Oh man, he's hilarious
The little black thong is not going to get me interested in that.
with the Hawaiian shirt. Come on,
Yeah,
He does-
What's crazy is he's based on what is it? Is it American? I think it was American.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
yeah, he's American.
I think it's American, but the whole that big thing like an anime, his Speedo was a huge thing.
Yeah,
So for one of the things for him to, because he didn't want to leave when he built them the ship,
right.
Mhm.
and the way to get him was they had to get the underwears and it would make him go. So they took the underwear and he was chasing everyone who grabbed his underwear. It's pretty funny.
and then you got Robin who has this power to create hands, and she's
Oh,
like,
yeah,
he
yeah.
was like, forget it, I don't need them, and she created these two hands on his legs, and they went like this, and went, and he was like, oh,
Yeah. But it was dope, dude. She was grabbing this thing and he was screaming, and then he kept screaming. And then Luffy's like, hey, stop doing that, Robin, because I want him to do it the time he gets on the ship. And she was like, he's lying. I'm not doing it anymore. So it's just emotional of him crying. And you know what? Dude, I'm telling you,
Yeah.
it's pretty dope, dude. Like the stories are so intricate and dope, bro. You're just like, oh, like the Water 7 scene, like, so when Robin comes in, because I don't know if you ever watch it, Alan. Robin comes in, and when Luffy fights this villain, she ends up stowaway on the ship, and they're like, "Hey, what are you doing here?" And she said, "Hey, I want to be on the ship." And then the reason why she wanted to do that because Luffy gave her a reason to live because her whole family are extinct. They're like, she comes from an island where they're archaeologists, and they got burnt down because the world government doesn't want anybody to know about the past. So she's like the sole survivor, and so that's what makes her bounty high because they want to catch her and kill her. And so Water 7, that arc, like the government captures her, and so they go on a quest to try to free her, and she's just sitting on the thing, and they're like, "What are you doing?" And she's just like, the whole thing is she doesn't want them to die for her, and Luffy just tells him, "Look, I want to hear you say it." And she goes like, "I want to live," and it just hits you like, dang. She's like, "I want to live," and then he looks at freaking Usopp and he's all, "Do it," and he shoots his freaking arrow or like his shot, and it burns the world government, meaning like,
he burned her flag.
yeah, burning the world government flag, meaning like, for you, we're going to war against anybody. And it's just like the whole like Nakima, like the shipwright of the family, dude. Like it just hits different.
Yeah.
Like Dukes is like that anime, bro. It just hits you. You're like, just, oh, dude, it makes you like, you have your favorites, but he touches so much of certain characters. You're like, damn, Robin's kind of dope. You know what I mean? Makes you think like, damn, it's just the writing's just really good. He's cooking, bro. At the end of this year, bro, my man's in the kitchen. He's just throwing everything into that pot, bro. My man's just
like
cooking.
Sanji.
Yeah, he is cooking, dude.
I mean, they had the other one with oh my gosh, what's the orange haired chick's name?
Nami.
Yeah, with Nami, like you saw in the series where Nami, she's like, she finally, like, she kept like trying to like escape. She kept trying to steal everything. And then finally she was on her knees and she's like, help me, when she cut off her tattoo. That was in the series. So that part, that helped me, was so impactful. Just like Robin's I Want to Live, man. Those two things, it's just like, whoa. Oh man. That was some good stuff.
Wow, that it might make me watch it. But after you guys spent like 20 minutes just saying how One Piece is like the best thing ever, and you know, cooking in the kitchen. I love how Joe always has the best food analogies. He's like, you can't have a burger with no bread.
That's not a burger.
That's just a meat patty. Wild card. You guys can pick anything from 2023. It could be memes. It could be like a specific character. Could be a politician. I don't care. I just want to hear overall, what do you think? Could be something we've already discussed. What's the dopest thing of 20 and 23? This was really tough for me because I did want to go with something I've said before. So I was going to talk wrestling, but I'm not going to do that. And I'm not going to try to slide in the answer, Alfonso. I'm not going to tell you what my second runner-up was, but go check out Toni Storm because she's an amazing wrestler and she's doing some crazy stuff with her character. But Godzilla -1 is overall everything we've discussed, any category. That movie just excited me in a way that, you know, I'm a Marvel fan and I'm loyal to Marvel. I love my Marvel characters. You know, I'm sure that like the Melissa McCarthy movie that came out this year, the Christmas one, Genie, it was a great movie. But Godzilla minus one just hit me in a way that a movie hasn't in a long time because it had emotion. It had me, I wasn't rooting for Godzilla, but I wanted to see a lot of Godzilla. But then I was rooting for the hero, which I don't think I've ever done in a Godzilla movie before. Like, the hero was always just there, but Godzilla was what I really wanted to see. So, Alfonso, you really need to go see my number one top thing of 20 and 23 because Godzilla minus one just totally blew me away and completely changed my perspective on movies for all of 2023. So that being said, since you haven't seen the movie and you're not gonna see it, what is your tippy top for all of 2023?
Okay, so this is going to be a little weird for you guys because it's not something that came out in 2023, but it's something the wife and I discovered. Now, I want to before I say anything about this, the wife does not want to watch anything with me ever because she hates everything. So, I find things for her to watch with me and we'll go through them. And finally, we've got something that we watch together. We'll sit down, we'll bust out 2 or 3 episodes and we just we plow through it. So the past few I mean, since maybe August, we've been watching this. So it started in 2023. We started watching Suits. I don't know if you guys have seen Suits, but originally aired on USA. It got canceled, picked up again on Netflix. So there's 9 seasons of this show. It's where the Margot came out. It's probably where Prince William or whoever found her and decided he was going to make a princess out of her. But the show it's great, man. I mean, you're always dealing with the smartest guy in the room being outsmarted by the smartest guy in the room, right? A lot of Tony Stark stuff in there. They make mentions of so many different movies and TV shows. And, sometimes they're like, oh yeah, that was from that. But sometimes they don't say it. And when they don't say it and I know it, that's when I love it the most. You know what I mean? Because I'm in on the joke. And my wife is like, I got to explain everything to her, right? Because she's like, TV shows, that's not her thing. But we're loving it. We're loving it. And we're on the very last season. I was bummed because they only had up to 8 on Netflix. And I was like, what am I going to do now? There's a 9th season. And I found it on Amazon. I thought it was for pay, but it was actually for free. So we're probably about 3 episodes till the end. And Suits has been great for me. You guys seen that at all?
I know Dukes hasn't. I have, though. I watched like the first few episodes. I think I watched the first 2 seasons and I'm like, bro, I can't do 9. I cannot do 9. There's just too many. And it's not like Netflix where it's just 10 episodes.
Right.
And so it's just too many. So what I did was certain characters that I liked or wanted to know what happened. I would Google the episodes and I would watch. So
Nice.
like when he got caught, of course, I Googled when he gets caught and watched that episode. And then I watched a few. And then when he got married, watched you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
for me, I skipped a lot of the episodes. I definitely watched the last episode. It was pretty good. But yeah, it's a good series, man. I know Duke's ain't gonna watch it.
Duke's
I'm not.
What it is, there's this guy,
I've heard all.
You've heard about it?
Everybody talks about Suits. Oh, he ran into the building and he was trying to get away from someone, and he had a photographic memory, and he memorized the book, and then they gave him a job, and he really didn't have a job. Yeah, I've heard all about it. Yeah.
Oh, the way you spin it makes it sound good.
That's the way everyone spins it. Yeah.
Well, yeah, because that's pretty much the Netflix trailer.
Yeah. What really caught me was like friends at work were talking about it. Like I got this new job and I got 3 or 4 people that I work with. They all were talking about it, watching on our lunch, and I'm like, I'll check it out. Then I started watching some TikToks and they'd start popping up because of course TikTok heard me talking to my friends about this, and now I'm seeing little episodes, clips of it. I'm like, oh, this is good, So it got us, but it's definitely a great experience with my wife. So I'm loving it.
That's awesome, dude. If nothing else, the opportunity to spend time with your wife makes it clearly the best thing of 2023.
Yes, sir.
Sure.
Joe, what's your tippy top of 2023?
I just don't have one. I'm like Alfie in this sense. The Godzilla minus one is super strong. I'm looking forward to the sequel that they're going to do for that. I'm excited for Star Wars because of the way Ahsoka ended. I'm excited for One Piece, the live action adaptation, what season 2 is going to be like, because they're already working on it. And then I'm also, because this year, man, like One Piece the animated series is popping, dude. So I mean, the end of Wano, like there was some good animation in that. So I want to say those 4 different shows ended really well for me at the end of 2023 and made me happy of what could come in 2024. What's weird is none of it was DC or Marvel.
It's an excellent point, my bro.
Yeah.
Very excellent point. And this concludes this episode of the Nerd World Order broadcast. So until next time, ladies, gentlemen, and knights of the Nerd World Order, I am NWO.
We are NWO.
Nerds Redefined. Booyah!